But to understand this, let's see what the scientists say. Where are we, what are we strengthening? Where are we strengthening? How can we strengthen it, right? The scientists tell you that a special part of the frontal cortex, the front of your brain, is a place called the anterior cingulate cortex. It is actually where our heart is. Our heart is connected to it, but this is where your hope and optimism is. And the scientists say it is here we experience love, compassion, empathy, sympathy, and the ACC, the anterior cingulate cortex, is the seat of the will, the determination, the place we choose right from wrong. Now, Dr. Beauregard of Montreal University was very curious that when people fall in love, which part of the brain is actually active. So he had an experiment where he put, well, there are two people falling in love or romantically linked. So they put one of them in a machine which can look at the brain as it is working. And as that person is in the machine, he shows the other person, well, that same person, a picture of the one he or she loves. And then he looks at the brain and where it fires. And the ACC, or the anterior cingulate cortex, is one of the three places that fire up when one is romantically in love. Now he got curious. Which parts of the brain fires up when we are giving unconditional love? And as a scientist, he fashioned the experiment as when a carer cares for another person who is sick, who's poor, and maybe even dying, and that person can never repay back. So again, they did the same experiment, the carer in the machine, a picture of the one they care for being shown to the carer. And guess what? The brain lights up in 7 places, like a Christmas tree. Now, when the brain lights up, it's great because when people are sick, they're depressed, their brain is very quiet. When people got Alzheimer's or dementia, the brain is very quiet. But when the brain lights up, that's where we feel great. And one part that lights up is the anterior cingulate cortex. Now, other scientists have found out that, well, there is the anterior cingulate cortex in the front of the brain, and depression comes from another part, the amygdala. Okay? Now, if your boss works you very hard, doesn't sympathize, doesn't give you help, and want results all the time, because the amygdala is active, you get depressed or you get anxious. Now, scientists have found out there is a circuit that when the ACC, the anterior cingulate cortex, is fired, the amygdala calms down. And you have hope and optimism, and your anxiety and your depression goes away. So the scientist calls it the hope and optimism circuit. Now, in our life, if we can do things that fires up the front, the ACC, we will have hope and optimism. Now the question is, how do we do it? Right? And there is a way. For example, unconditional love, caring for another, happily wanting to do it, that fires the ACC. And your hope and optimism is strengthened. Now the scientists say this, our neural network, our brain, is not like, it's growing all the time. So whatever you use becomes stronger. For example, that love caring network may be weak and thin when you begin. But as you care for others, you're calling up all your energy to care for another. As you do this, your network for love and care starts from thin and becomes thick. So the scientist says, what fires together, what fires in your brain, wires together. What fires together, wires together and become thick. So we can strengthen we can design our brain. We can make it strong for hope and optimism. Now, for more information, come to my website. It's meditation-mindyourbrain.com. So I hope to see you there.
He's Coming Broadcasting Network.